Hi everybody, Mark Cheng here. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through the process I follow when setting up a scene cinematically with different camera angles. As in past videos, we're going to be using Extracted as our demo project. Extracted is a 30-minute animated pilot that's been in production here at Mark Cheng Creative Studios for the past 8 months. So ready? Let's jump right in. Let's take a look at the scene as it's blocked out right now. We have two bad guys backing away and retreating. One gets shot in the back, the other reloads, and as he's reloading, one of our heroes steps in and shoots him. And then the first one who's hit in the back isn't completely neutralized and starts to get up, which gives our second hero the opportunity to save the day by running up to him and shooting him in the back. So let's get started here with the cameras. So for the first shot, what I want to do is place the camera roughly in the position where the heroes are coming from. So we are pursuing our bad guys and watching one of them get neutralized. So I have a starting position that's a little bit further away, and then I pick an end position for the camera that is moving closer to our bad guys as that one guy gets shot in the back. And we're roughly mirroring the movement of that enemy running away. So I drop in my keyframes, my starting position, my final position. Pretty happy with that, what that looks like. And so we're going to lock off this camera shot. Now what you'll see me do here is I bounce out of that particular shot, and I'm now in the master. And we see all of our, much like an edit timeline, we see all of our individual shots here. So after trimming it right, what I usually do as my process is I'll right click, go to the shot properties, hit the folder icon, which brings it up in the content browser. I'll right click and duplicate the shot, increment it up one, and then drag it back into the master timeline. I could just do a single camera position, but I'd like to cinematically tell the story differently and use my camera angles to highlight certain plot points. Let's resize it, move it into position so that shot 11 is going to pick up right as shot 10 ends. Then I'll double click into shot 11 and pilot the camera and find another location for it. Okay, so what's the thought process here? If we look at the first shot, the point of that first shot was to put the camera in the position of our heroes advancing towards the enemy combatants, just as one gets hit in the back. For my next shot, the purpose of the next shot is to show the second enemy combatant getting hit while he reloads, and to show that one of our heroes is the one doing the shooting. So what I'm going to do is position the camera so that it is over the shoulder of one of our heroes and follow our hero as he walks towards the enemy combatant reloading. Putting the camera right over the shoulder of our hero here embeds the audience in the action, makes it feel like we're following right behind her. Which helps create this sense of, this visual sense of being in the middle of the action. So once I find my first position, I lock in the keyframe, then I'll pilot the camera, advance the playhead to the next position, and advance the camera there. I will pilot the camera forward to follow our hero, drop a keyframe, and as the hero moves forward a little bit more, repositions a little bit more, I'll also reposition that camera. I actually like it doing it this way because it adds a little bit of like jitter to the camera movement. It's a little bit more realistic. It's a little bit more like as if the cameraman is literally following our actor behind her and trying to capture the action of the enemy combatant getting hit. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. What I'm doing right now is I'm bouncing out into the master shot. So I've got the two shots I've created playing back to back. And I'm just dragging that player head. What I'm doing is I'm dragging the playhead back and forth, kind of scrubbing to make sure that the shots are coming together the way I want them to. So you can see here, the shot actually starts with a little bit more dead space than I'd like. So I'm going to just trim it a little bit and reposition things. Now, the continuity might not be 100% perfect with the enemy combatants reloading, but at this point in time, that's not something I'm really going to care about. I just want to make sure that the action is flowing correctly, and those things can always be tweaked later. Good, so I'm happy with the shot. Do my normal workflow, go to properties, find the shot in the content browser, highlight it, duplicate it so it increments up a number, and then drag that into the master shot and ready to go. I will trim shot 11 so it ends roughly where I want it to end, and align shot 12 so that it is going to start roughly where 11 ends. Okay, now we're on to the next shot. So the purpose of the next shot is to show two things. One, how coordinated our heroes are in their attack plan. What I have is our female hero, Zeph, lowers her gun just as her counterpart is rushing forward to take out the first guy who was shot in his back, because he's actually still alive. He's still 30% combat effective, if you want to put it that way. Fake or not, I thought it was cool, so we're adding that. And so the purpose of this shot is to show that Zeph is lowering her rifle so fluidly while her counterpart rushes forward to neutralize the first guy that is getting up. So let's take a look at this camera angle. Okay, so the way I decided to convey this was to place the camera so that we are directly in Zeph's line of fire. And we will move the camera just as her counterpart crosses her line of fire, and she will lower her gun right before he actually enters that line of fire, because that would otherwise be dangerous. And this shows just in a dramatic way just how well coordinated they are as a unit. Good, so that's good. So let's move on. Following my workflow here. Duplicate the shot, increment it up one, drag it into position, and then I'm doing some realignment here so that the next shot roughly starts where the previous shot has ended. Okay, so what's the purpose of this shot? What we've seen previously is that Zeph is lowering her rifle just as her counterpart is crossing what would have been her line of fire. And the purpose of this next shot is to show that what he's doing. What is he doing? The audience doesn't know what he's doing, and we're going to reveal in this shot. He is rushing towards the first enemy combatant who's gotten hit in the back, but he's not dead. He's slowly starting to get up. And so our second hero is arriving just in time to neutralize him. So here's the action that I've blocked out. He rushes right up to him, hits him in the back. Kind of cold-blooded, right? So this is what it looks like. So I thought it'd be great to position the camera low to the ground, kind of close to where our enemy is, and track with, so that the camera can track our hero running right up to him and shooting him in the back. So I'm going to pick a low angle, angle it up. For lack of a better word or description, it just looks cool, but I think if we want to parse it, our camera is at a low angle, slowly looking up so that our hero looks intimidating and is dominating our enemy combatant. Pretty happy with the camera movement here. What I'm going to do is use a camera shake template that I've created called Gunfire. What a camera shake template does is it allows you to put in coordinates in terms of wobble and frequency to create a little bit more of a naturalistic wobble to your camera. Name this one Gunfire because the coordinates I've put in will make the camera shake as if a cameraman is standing quite close to somebody firing a real gun, and the noise and the muzzle flash and the violence of it is actually causing the cameraman to shake a little bit as he's trying to get like a really good angle. So when I position that camera shake template to play just as the muzzle flash plays, it's going to add that much more of an intensity to the composition, and hopefully that helps the audience feel a little bit more like they're experiencing this in a visceral way. Good, so with that shot done, what I'm doing is I'm bouncing out into the master shot now and just playing where this scene needs to finish and hand off to the next scene that's already been constructed. What I'll do in situations like this is I'll play where I am now and then play the first shot of the next scene to kind of map out where this scene needs to hand off so that it plays fluidly. And you'll see that the next shot is a very close-up of the two heroes standing over the dead bodies, and the camera whipping down to show one of our main characters telling them to duck down because they've exposed themselves around the corner of this residential house. Okay, the purpose of this final shot is to get Zeph in the same position roughly as the second enemy combatant so that they're together, so that they're both standing exposed, and that sets it up for the very next shot So you'll see me here just tweaking the animation. All of this is like FPO previs animation. So all I'm trying to do is get this previs locked down and have our story visually told through a series of camera angles, and all of that stuff can come downstream in terms of polish. What you're seeing me do right here is just reposition a little bit of that animation so that her endpoint when she finishes running is where I want it to be. Good, so this looks really good. I love this angle, this low angle of her running up and looking down at the dead body. Okay, so after tweaking the focus and letting this scene play over and over and over so I could watch it, I realized that there was one little plot point that I think was missing in the flow of different shots. What I did is I had our first enemy combatant fire and get shot as he was running away, and then we cut to the next shot of the other enemy combatant reloading and getting shot by our other hero, Zeph. What I didn't do a good job of, I think, is I didn't reveal that the other guy who was shot in the back was still alive and starting to get up. I know I said earlier that it was supposed to be a little bit of a surprise the way it was set up, but I think after watching it over and over again, I think that there was a missing shot that I wanted to insert, and that was that enemy beginning to get up and not quite dead. So this is me hopping back in to create that interim shot. So if the shot before this, that precedes this, is of our enemy combatant getting hit while reloading, what I decided to do was start this next shot off with that enemy in the middle of his dance of death, and then have our camera track down to reveal in the foreground that the first guy is actually still alive and beginning to get up. If I can, we'll try to capture our second hero realizing this and rushing towards him, and that will be a perfect handoff to the next shot, which we created before, of Zeph dropping her rifle to allow her counterpart to cross what was her line of fire. Okay, good. You guys still with me? I know it can be a messy process. Filmmaking is like that, even though Unreal is so cool for filmmaking. So let's do this. I will end with a high resolution render of this scene so you can see what it looks like in its totality. Keep in mind, it's all previs. It's already looking really good in my opinion. It is previs in terms of lighting, animation, and all that. And it is the first pass of the cinematics. Always have to say that because you never know how people are going to look at things and judge them. It's a process. So hope you had a good time. Hope you're still with me. I know we're like 13 minutes in, but I think it's important to show you the full process, not the clean edited version that makes it look a little too easy. It can be messy, but that's part of the fun. So join me next time. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.